All right, Sistas fans, this is going to be a bit of a loaded video. I mean, I feel like maybe the title is going to be something along the lines of "What's wrong with Karen?" or something like that. I just don't know. Or is Aaron pushing Karen over the edge like he did with Fawn, his ex-wife? Yeah, this is going to encompass basically everything Karen did in this week's episode, along with, the story of Aaron and his ex-wife, as well as the mid-season finale during the what definitely appeared to be a clean break to me between Zach and Karen at the salon after he gave her the check for the $72,000. So yeah, strap yourselves in. I would love to put in clips for this video, but guys, Karen took up so much time in the episode. I feel like I would need a pass from Tyler Perry Studios or Viacom to have 20 minutes of just Karen scenes in this video, but I can't do it. So I actually rewatched the episode from this week this morning. I wrote down every scrap of dialogue from Karen just because I needed to read over it, just see, okay, did I miss something? What exactly is going on with this girl? And to be honest, I don't think pregnancy is it. If it is, it just makes her look I don't even know how to explain it, because if it isn't pregnancy, she's definitely looking even crazier than she already seems. But before moving forward in the video, make sure you take your time to go ahead and hit the thumbs up button. I don't want you to miss out on any content I post on the channel. So hit thumbs up and subscribe. Hit the bell icon and select all. Thankfully, we are closing in on 40% subscriber watch time, which is great. So I can't thank you all enough for that. For the 60 plus people, or 60% or 60+% people who have yet to subscribe to the channel, please rectify that as soon as possible, because with your support by hitting subscribe, we will zoom past 200,000 subscribers in an instant. Also, just be aware, some days I might not post, other days you might get 5 to 10 videos at once. It just depends on my schedule. But regardless, let's dive in. Now remember, I'm not really a massive Zatima shipper. I do support that it's easily the best written relationship on this show, given the upcoming spinoff. But I've done videos. I did the video in Karen's defense. I've done videos talking about, is Zatima in game, or Zach and Fatima a good couple? I've talked from every angle of this. So for the Zatima shippers, for the Karen supporters, I hope you take a moment to actually listen to what I'm saying, and feel free to chime in if you feel like I missed any kind of evidence or support of one side over the other, so to speak. So in the preview for next week, you got the meeting, if you will, or the clean break at Danny's place. And Karen and Zach are sitting across from each other, and Karen saying, well, actually Zach is like, Karen, I can't be with you no more. And she's all like, hey, look me in the eyes and tell me that you don't love me no more. Tell me you don't want to be with me no more. And I'm not going to include the portion of the Fatima phone call, because that's a bit too complicated, and that's going to be its own video, because obviously that phone call she's making at work about Zach and Hayden could possibly dictate what happens during this conversation. It just depends on if Zach overhears this call before or after he goes over to Karen. Goes over to Danny's to talk to Karen. But let's talk about the episode itself at 7. And all of the Karen scenes. In my episode review, I actually read out all the dialogue, and I guess I got to do it here too. Well, actually, just to back it up, last week's episode, you had her going on about Zach leaving all kinds of voicemails. Look, I really need to talk to you. I wouldn't call you this much if I didn't really need to talk to you. Oh, I left this voicemail. Oh, actually, no, going back to the previous episode where Zach was looking at that house, and she called about a dinner invite, and he's like, no, we're not even doing that, Karen. And she's like, oh, thank you for the money. Just so you know, it came at the right time because I'm having a hard time with the business and you didn't have to pay me. And then Zach cuts her off saying, look, you know that if you found out about that money from your girls, you would be mad as hell that I didn't pay you back. And you are, oh yeah, you want to go out with me now? Oh yeah, because I'm the kind of guy that, steals credit cards and you got me arrested I said I was sorry for that. Yeah, I guess that's water under the bridge now. And Zach rushed her off the phone because to her, the first step was, oh, I see you. No, actually, I think that, yeah, at that point, Zach had blocked her number. So she ended up calling from her work phone. And then he just rushed her off the phone and that was it. Then, of course, she started calling because he unblocked her and it was an unknown number. And now she's at the point where she's getting other people to call in order to jump on the phone to talk with him. So in the last episode, she was telling Danny, you know how Zach wasn't calling. You got me into the airport before. Let me do it again. Well, yeah, Karen, the last time I did that, you told him off. You got him arrested over the credit card stuff. And then you threw his granddaddy shit on the curb. And she's like, no, I just want to talk. And then as soon as Danny tells Zach, Zach leaves the airport, Danny calls Karen before she can leave saying, Karen, don't come down here to the airport. Zach is gone. But then after getting off the phone, she does it anyway. So in this episode, she gets to the airport. Zach is gone. And Danny's like, is something wrong in the head? What's going on? I literally called you to let you know Zach is gone. Like, you know, why can't you get it through your head? Zach is done. And she basically gets pushed or pressed by Karen to call Zach. And when she does, and he says, I don't want to talk to Karen, it's not my problem, Karen just takes the phone and goes, oh, and why isn't it your problem? He's like, damn it. And essentially, she just wants to hear to her face that it's done. And Zach is like, look, I love you, but it's over. And look, after 3 years together, it's the least you can do is see me, even though Zach paid her $77,000. So she's like, tell me it's over. Tell me to leave you alone. Tell me that you don't love me. And none of this is making sense. And Zach is like, I thought I made that clear. Not. And then she's like, not when you're upset. Tell me when you're fine. Tell me when you're normal. And he's like, you got to get over this. I need it, Zach. I really do. Why? So I can move on. I'm not going to your, yeah, so basically she tries to set the time and place. He's not going to her house. He's not going to the salon. It's a 7 p.m. meeting at Danny's place with her in attendance because Zach sure as hell doesn't want to be in the same room alone with Karen. And from there, Danny talks to Karen about what is this all about, given the fact that it seems like it's over. But then Karen's like, look, you know me, you know us, referring to her and Zach, and this ain't over until we both say in here it's over. Now at that point, you could argue that it definitely seems like Karen wants to talk to Zach. It seems like she doesn't get dumped. She's the dumper, not the dumpee. Like, you know, I'm going to dump you before, like, it's not over until I say it's over, despite the fact that they had a clean cut when they were both at the salon that night, but whatever. So Danny is trying to be the voice of reason. Danny, who is sober, is literally the voice of reason. And if Danny of all people is your voice of reason, you know something's messed up in your mind. It's like if Marlon Wayans of all people calls somebody over energetic or, you know, crazy as hell. So Danny said that, look, Karen, it sounded to me like he said it loud and clear. And it's like, well, no, he's mad. I need him calm. And he didn't tell me when he was calm. And I need this in order to close this chapter of my life. And then when she leaves saying, thank you, Danny, I'll see you at 7. Oh, wow, this is bad because Karen's being nice. And then, of course, you know, just to skim over this part, Zach tells Fatima about this meeting. And Fatima instantly calls out the fact that not only is this not a good idea, but she can already tell that Karen wants more than closure. She wants Zach. But at the very core, this is a situation not about trusting Zach, but it's going to be good to determine whether or not he's really over her. And you know, that's about it in regards to that. As far as Zach is concerned, I want to get there at 7, going to have this conversation, I'm going to leave, and I'm going to be back at your apartment by 7:30. Not at the salon, not at Karen's place. I'm going to Danny's place where we're going to meet up, and that's about it. And then, of course, the next scene is where Andy chats with Pam, but I'll get to that a little later. Andy and Karen have their little conversation, if you even want to call it that. It seemed more like Karen was trying to interrogate Andy than anything else. Andy comes to the salon to apologize, you know, in order to be fair, so to speak, given the fact that Karen is obviously mad because she feels like Andy has chosen Fatima over her. And, she's all like, well, to be fair, I'm just asking, what's the situation between Zach and Fatima? And, Andy's like, well, I honestly don't know if they're together, but you do know if they're staying together. And you could at least tell me if you do know if he's into her. And Andy just thinks that she should move on. So they are together. Well, I didn't say that they were. I just said you should move on. And, okay, I'm meeting him tonight. Wait, what? If he's with her, he can tell me that himself. Even if Zach wasn't with Fatima, why the hell would he need to tell you that? And Andy's like, I don't think that's a good idea. And this chick is losing it. I'll talk to the both of them, which implies that she'll talk to both Zach and Fatima if it comes down to it. I'll talk to them both together. And she's like, why? And then Karen's like, I have a great man who wants to marry me. And here I am saying Zach when I'm with Aaron. And, Karen, Andy's like, oh, damn. It's like, yeah, that's why I need a clean break. We'll talk, then I move on. And then she's taking everything Andy says as like double talk. Even if Andy just sighed, it's like, wait, do you know something? I'm saying you need closure. I'm just asking why you need closure. It's like, I do. You should know better than anyone when I need something as a friend. And then, as Andy says, as a friend, I don't think you should meet with Zach at all. I don't think it's a good idea, but I support you if that's what you feel you need in order to move on. And then Karen's like, why would you be against it? Are they seeing each other? I don't even know what this scene was supposed to be. Look, this isn't against the actors at all. It's the writing, because I don't have a problem with the acting. It's just I don't get the context of the acting. Where is this coming from? That's my issue. Andy, for the umpteenth time, honestly, I don't know. Look, I love you, but I'm sick of being in the middle of all this. Okay, friend. And then Andy just says, look, I'm going to go talk to Gary, but can you call me after you meet with Zach? Why should I call you? You don't want to be in the middle of it. And then she's like, look, call me, I mean it. And then she leaves. Then, Karen looks upset like she got her head in her shoulder. Her head in her hands. I don't even know what to think, because like I said before, it seems like we're going down the route of character assassination. This is like Melinda from Acrimony, Veronica from the Haves and the Have-Nots. It doesn't matter how much the guy says it's over, whether it be David or Melinda's ex-husband from Acrimony. It doesn't matter if this person moves on to find another woman. Hell, are we going to see Karen pull a Veronica or a Victoria where they just end up killing the bitch that they think is going after their man, even though it's clearly over? I don't know who's worse. Miranda from House of Pain, Karen from Sistas, Veronica from the Haves and Have-Nots, Victoria from the Oval. It's just, I don't even know what's going on here, because based on Tyler Perry's track record, I have no surprise if we're going to have Karen turn into some kind of psycho stalker killer or something like that. Because going back to what Pam mentioned at the salon to Andy about how strange it is, I just get a bad vibe off of Aaron, the fact that he continuously or on a weekly basis sends flowers to Karen at the place where his ex-wife killed herself right in front of everybody, right in front of Karen. And then go back to what Miss Lisa said about Aaron. Look, you drove your ex-wife to that point. I see what's going on. You got this thing where you kind of pray after weak women, weak-minded women, but my daughter's not weak. And you take women that are weak like that and then push them over the breaking point. And it definitely feels like Aaron is giving off those vibes, from wanting to get married all of a sudden, seemingly for the sake of non-sinful sex. Constantly trying to replace Zach in Karen's heart, knowing that they just got out of a 3-year on and off relationship. It just doesn't seem right at all. Even Andy's like, yeah, that's quite peculiar. And she's a lawyer, so when she acts intelligent and she says something is off, something definitely is off. So you look at Fawn and what happened. Aaron got the divorce. I mean, well, hell, they got a divorce, but even before that, you could tell his wife was upset with Aaron. They didn't have the best relationship. And remember, well, let's be honest here. Even though Aaron kind of like demanded that Karen work things out with Zach in order to close that part of her life so, he can be with her or something like that, Karen was still blowing up Zach's phone. So I'm not going to place this all on Aaron, but the argument could be made that you can at least see that Karen's going the fawn route, because this chick is starting to sound psychotic. It's like, well, I'll talk to him. I'll talk to both of them. Heifer for what? So, remember what Fawn did. She started popping up at Karen's place because, she said, Karen's like, how do you know I live? I followed Aaron the other night and he came here. So she popped up at Karen's place. Then she would pop up at Karen's job. I mean, hell, didn't she even offer to pay Karen to like not see Aaron anymore? And then after the divorce, that's when she got the gun and then shot herself in front of Karen. So now you got Karen calling Zach, showing up where he works. Hell, she even asked Andy whether or not Fatima and Zach were staying together. So one could argue that if she knew that to be true, she would probably pop up at Fatima's front door. Guys, I'm not going to lie. We know Karen's in season 4. Karen and Aaron, Gary, they're all in season 4 based on the behind the scenes. How far is she going to go? This is seriously bad. This is really bad. We know that Zach and Fatima are in the season as well. I wish Tyler would have given more context as to why Karen's acting this way. Pregnancy to me is just not a good enough reason. It just seems very out of pocket at this point because Karen just seems to be doing this to do it. I know some people have been saying, well, it was a 3-year relationship. How do you expect Karen to just give it up? The scene in the salon was so beautifully done. Sure, it had some things I didn't like the moment that Zach handed over the check and was beginning to leave. Karen was like, where are you going? Oh, you going after her? It's like, yeah, I'm going after Fatima with all my heart. I still love you. I was like, I love you, Karen. I love you too. Thank you for everything. I'm sorry this check came so late to pay you back for everything you did to me. Well, truth be told, it came on time. That was a beautiful moment. Then, of course, she went back and she said, but Zach is like, is there anything else you want to tell me? Or anything you want to say? Now it's time to do it. Part of me wants to just say, come back to my place. Let's work it out. Let's get back together. But we've done this so many times before that there's really no sense of doing it now, because what's really going to be different if that wasn't a clean break. I feel like this is like the MCU or any other film franchise where there's a pivotal moment that kind of shapes the future of the characters, but then there's a bunch of retcons and it's like, hey, remember that thing that happened in this movie? We're going to rewrite it to seem like it didn't happen. This episode, or the last few episodes of Sistas, this felt like Tyler Perry wrote in a season he didn't write, if that makes sense, where Tyler inserted 1 or 2 episodes in a season of 20 episodes that other people wrote, and it completely throws out the flow. Kind of like House of Pain did this week, where this episode of House of Pain felt completely out of place compared to the other 12 episodes that preceded it, because the characters acted completely out of character. So, I mean, was this episode aired out of order that we didn't know about? I don't really know. I don't know what's driving Karen to this breaking point. It definitely seems like we're getting acrimony. I mean, hell, we called acrimony back when Zach first got this big, come up in the money. Like, Karen's going to turn into Melinda. But I feel like this is definitely assassinating Karen's character, because even if her and Zach, well, she finally accepts Zach has moved on, then what? Her and Aaron get together, and now we're shaping the mystery of who Aaron really is as a man and as a character. Where the hell is her mom, Miss Lisa, when you need her in order to come set her straight? Because I'm pretty sure Miss Lisa would not approve of how Karen's acting at all. So, that's all I got to say about this particular topic. Why do you think Karen is acting the way she is? Do you think she's going to cross the line at some point? In the next episode, it definitely seems like Zach might falter, but it just isn't fair to him in order to say, tell me you don't want to be with me no more. Tell me you don't love me anymore. They both said they love each other, but I mean, even Zach said, to Fatima, I got love for Karen, but I'm not in love with Karen. I I don't really see what's going to happen here, but we'll just have to wait. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I'm going to say that I hope Tyler Perry knows what he's doing with this, because the Zatima spinoff definitely seems to point at the fact that things eventually get resolved. But I mean, hell, let's take it to the next level. What if the reason Fatima agrees to move in with Zach in the spinoff is because Karen found out where she lives and some shit popped off? But keep in mind, Karen, you know, she's good with a gun, and she's seemingly acting crazy now. But Fatima has made it clear that she's the wrong one to mess with because she carries too. So imagine if these two got into it at some point. Let's wait and see what happens. And I mean, and you know, like you told Andy, I'll ask the both of them together. Yeah, ask Fatima what's up and see what happens. Let's see. All right, guys, thanks so much for tuning in. Let me know if there are any things that I didn't talk about in the video that you feel would have helped the subject, maybe boost it a little more in terms of, you know what, Jeremy, this was a good video conversation overall, but there was this key point in episode 12 of season 2 that would explain why Karen's acting the way she is. I honestly don't know. I feel like this is terrible writing and consistency, and it just shits on the salon scene where he gave her the check and they had a clean break. So the fact that Karen feels so entitled and she is basically spitting on the relationship status of Zach and Fatima just so she can get closure in order to move on. Honey, we don't all get closure. Sometimes you just move on. Like, just because the other person moved on with their life, that should just tell you that, hey, we're done, we're over. I mean, it's different if you've been wrong or heartbroken, but Zach literally did what he didn't have to do, which was pay you everything that you done, you know, did for him. And that's all I know. I don't know. All right, guys, like and subscribe. If you want to donate to the channel, feel free to do so on PayPal or Cash App. And with that being said, I'll talk to you in the next one.